Stargate kipper. Another burn and learn. Woo. Okay, so yesterday, don't start abusing me about not we're doing this yesterday. Yesterday was an acting workout. It was an acting marathon. So I was on set of this new boys show last night, and it was basically from dawn to dusk. I was working, so I have taken no flack for not exercising yesterday. But ideally, I think I said this yesterday. I'd like to be doing a little something every day in the way of exercise. I mean, more than just walking the dog, because I'm not yet 100 years old, and walking the dog should not be blooming exercise. How is everyone? Ashton Hader, how are you? Anthony Rawlings here as well. What else we got here? We got anyone else? There we go. Max Porter. Welcome. Good morning. This is another Burn and Learn. Surprise, surprise. Certainly as much to me as to everyone else. God, these glasses are filthy. Back on the torture device. This one is what is it called? It's this Concept 2 rower. And I was trying to find a sexy shot. Well, sexy shot's the wrong way of putting it, I suppose. But trying to put a cool shot of of a not so sexy old Stargate guy. But the bit is just try to do a little bit of exercise every day. And I've just found in the past that these burn and learns are a great way to guilt myself into it. Because when I don't do it, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, oh God, everybody knows. Everybody knows I didn't exercise today. Well, I did today. And surprisingly, certainly to me, excuse me, surprisingly to me, I did 20 minutes today. I thought I would do 12 like the other day, but I got 20 minutes out of this. So, do I use the app? Oh, JDCB. I didn't know there was an app. Okay, no, I don't use the app. Is there wireless on this? I've just been going as simple as I possibly can. I just hit just row, and I leave it at that. But if you've got any advice on it, that would be amazing. Max Porter, we do it together. Exactly. I do the exercise. You do the commenting. You're exercising, and I'm eating snack cakes and drinking coffee. Oh, Ashton Hader, I want to be you. I don't want to be me. There are leaderboards, etc. Oh God, I don't want to get into that. I'm too competitive to be competitive, and I'm too bad to be competitive. So wait till I can just do more than just barely 20 minutes before I before I start competing on the World Concept 2 phase. But it is Chaos Surveyor. It is going well. It's nice. It's nice to start the morning with all of you, which I guess is part of it too. I suppose it's like this is my little reward at the end of the exercise that I get to sit here and pontificate and be a YouTuber. I get to be a YouTuber when I finish my exercise. So I've got my cup of tea here, so I'm going to take sips of this, which I hope are not too loud with my. Is the sound okay? By the way, I'm still playing around with these beautiful little things. Let me see if I can show you what's going on here. So I just plugged this. This just gets plugged into my phone, and then this broadcasts all of the sound to it. And I kind of love it because it just all of a sudden. I'm not worried about that aspect of it. So, I gotta say, I do like the sound of those little boom mics. They're fantastic. But just recently, we went to the European Space Agency in Holland, and which is, I gotta say, if anyone gets that chance, if anyone gets the opportunity to go to specifically one of these ESA open days, I cannot recommend it enough. You want to just see, you want to be in there, seeing what's going on, the bleeding edge of space exploration and space science, and just be around some of the smartest, most wonderful people you possibly can. Go check out European Space Agency website. Look for any information you can about the ESA Open Day. They can probably email you and let you know when it's happening. I'm blown away. Like I feel like. It's. I think I've just found my favorite convention, my favorite non-science fiction convention. So that was the idea. Yeah, I got the Rode, Jim. I did. I used them for teaching. Really great mics. I've even tried them on a bicycle and worked great. Oh, fantastic! Yeah, I've been using them just in the last couple of weeks, and I love it. Of course, Jim's ahead of the game on this stuff. Jim, if you got any tricks for me, let me know if there's anything I should be doing, because I've literally just plugged them in. There's a little app that comes with it, which is kind of neat, but I don't really know what to do with it. So all I did was I watched the tutorial, because I've got to that age where, I got to read a manual. I just got to do it. It's, I've always weirdly quite liked manuals. And in fact, I used to read manuals for things I didn't even own, which is weird. Just a little foible thing. I have to talk to someone about that. But nowadays, if things aren't obviously intuitive, and these are pretty intuitive, to be honest. I mean, but there were just a few extra buttons and winking and blinking lights that I couldn't figure out. So there is a technology that can voice broadcast lower than ultrasound. Wow. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but good morning to you too, Jenny A. Thank you, John Coffin. That's the dog going crazy outside because I've left her for too long. And Jane, who is home today, is going to go and Jane's going to deal with everything this morning. This poor woman, I don't know I think maybe it was all the huffing and puffing as I did my exercise this morning. She's probably thinking like, I don't know if you can make it around the block with the dog now. So we have a kind of a glorious day ahead of us because I am having a preliminary chat with one of our fabulous ESA friends. So we're going to be talking. I think it's Mars exploration. I think today, but we like to do these preliminary chats before we go live or do the actual podcast, and just talk to people just so they know how informal and ridiculous these chats can be, and just so they're just supposed to be fun. And I just want to put people at ease before we sort of throw them in front of a live audience, because I just take for granted that I just go live and don't think anything of it, or even of showering. So other people don't obviously feel that way, and it's a bit much for them. So I just like to sort of put them at ease first, and also I guess to some extent myself as well. So I get a sense there's a connection there that I can sort of have these chats. But and I've got another podcast for you, by the way. I've been working with this wonderful actor Raphael, and he does a podcast called Inside the Art House. And if you want some really unique, smart, fun insights into the film industry, the indie film industry specifically, you've got to check out this podcast. It's Inside the Art House, and it's available everywhere. And Raphael is the sort of the voice of it, and then his friend who runs these independent theaters are the ones who he does it with, and it's just a great podcast. If you wanted, a great example, there's one about a documentary on immigration that they talked about. I mean, again, stuff that I wouldn't normally seek out, but they have, and they've looked into it, and it's just, it's really fun. So, so I've got a completely off topic, but I've got this Easter chat this morning. My son is traveling today to go see friends, and he stops off in Toronto. So we're gonna have some lunch with my son. Hello, son, which I'm looking forward to, of course. And then of course Toronto's a mess because we've got these Blue Jays. You'll never believe this, but apparently people get money and pay money for men to try to hit little balls with sticks. And so that's happening tonight. That is the Blue Jays versus LA, I think. Two old homes. Look at that. Toronto. Who do I vote for? I don't know. Jays. I got to vote for the Jays because otherwise, I'd have the house burned down probably. So there's a game on tonight, which I guess Jane and I will be watching. I'm hoping that while we do that, we'll be nibbling some of the Netherlands cheeses that we picked up while we were away. So I'm quite looking forward to that, and some cozy time with my wife. We don't. It's so funny. We live in the same house, and we both really work from home. Except when I'm acting, and yet I still feel like I never really get a chance to sit down and talk with her. Of course, part of the problem could be that when I get a chance to sit down and talk with her, I come down here, do 20 minutes of exercise, and talk to you. So it's all your fault. If this marriage fails, it's all your fault. I don't like when the Dodgers win because people shoot off fireworks, and it's annoying. Elizabeth with his head. Yes, summing up LA's perspective on the game. So Burn and Learn. This is a Burn and Learn, by the way. What are we in? Like 10 minutes in, I'll tell you what this is about. This is what I call a Burn and Learn. This is sort of my attempt to stay fit and alive long enough to see my fabulous son through university and into life, and spend my wonderful retirement years with my fabulous wife Jane, and not murder the dog in the process. So I've been trying to do some exercise, and I I hate exercise. I just, there's no way around it. I hate everything about it. It's just, yeah. So the only way I've discovered that I can do it and sort of on a regular, to keep it on a regular basis, is to have these little rewards for myself, or it's a carrot and a stick. The carrot being I get to do these little chats and feel good about myself and feel like a YouTuber. And then the stick is that if I don't, everyone knows it. So that's my hope, is to sort of climb back on the wagon for this and see if I can do it. So, do I ever read Stargate fan fiction? I don't really. Yeah, I don't really, Redo. I don't. It's not. I mean, there's so much stuff out there to read, and yeah, I guess maybe there's a little bit of, maybe it's a little pain point for me as well. I miss it. I miss that. I miss that whole Stargate era, and it's sort of it's a bit, I suppose, a bit bittersweet. I suppose it's really nice going to these conventions and seeing everybody again. Like we saw Paul and Jewel and Joe, at and Kate, for that matter, at the last one in Basingstoke, and that's lovely. I find, but the fan fiction, yeah, I don't. The weird way, you probably all know more about Stargate now than I do. I mean, it's such an intense part of my life for a good, it's basically 10 years in there, and then you sort of step away, and so my interaction with Stargate now is almost more from the science perspective, and I'm really, really hoping to sort of explore that. And when I say the science perspective, I'm sort of talking to people who are doing the science that would have made this stuff, or does make this stuff possible. So I wrote a fanfic that went nowhere, as it was respectful to the Atlantis cast and not triple X fantasy. Ooh, I'm sure there's an audience for everything, isn't there? I mean, hey, random question, but do you remember what Lords of Boswell is about? I can't find anything about it online. Where on earth did you hear about Lords of Boswell? I'm very curious to hear that. Sin and Junkie, where did you hear about that? I'll tell you why, because it was one of my friend Andrew Miller's and my first attempts at writing. We thought we would get into some writing and do that, and we're writing stuff together, and Andrew's just one of my oldest, best friends, and really truly one of the smartest people I've ever known. The guy's just amazing, and he's just a wonderful guy. Fabulous family now, but and lives in LA. But we did this little series, I guess, before YouTube, before video was only just starting. I mean, video was something that no one would record anything serious with at the time, and we got a couple of we got a video camera and a bunch of friends and wrote a little, I guess, like an episode of a show called Lords of Boswell, and it was basically, the premise was just, it was a short film basically, and the premise was basically these two arrogant assholes played by I wonder who think they're better than everybody else, and basically are lamenting the fact that the city has been taken over by the Toronto International Film Festival. So it was sort of our attempt to do a kind of a Canadian Withnail and I have no sense of how we failed or succeeded, because I don't think we've got copies of it anywhere. But the Lords of Boswell, we did 2 episodes, and they were really fun, really, really fun. It was sort of a bit like, I think it was just us trying to, we were, early 20s, I guess, and just, we frustrated by how long everything took. And again, keep in mind that everything back then was shot on film. Even the television stuff was basically shot on film. So it was a way for us to, before video was on phones, or even there were cell phones for that matter, we did these little video things, and it's really fun. They're silly, but they're fun. Probably incredibly arrogant at this point, but yeah, it was good. I hope one day the episodes surface. I mean, I'll look around, Cine Junkie. I'll see if we've got them somewhere. But didn't you do a movie with your sister? I think I had it on DVD at one point in my life. You did, Red Dude. It was called Dog's Breakfast, and it's still one of the things I'm most proud of, because it was just an absolute joy. It's pure filmic joy. I just had fun doing that, and it was marvelous. And look who's come to say hi. Okay, I guess we gotta share the mutts. There we go. This is huzzah. When I say good night, everyone, and cheerio and huzzah, this is the huzzah that I'm talking about right here. And she thinks she's a cat, basically. Wants attention 100% of the time, and yeah, and is a complete pain in the ass. She's no Mars. That's all I'm going to say. This is no Mars, but she's all right. You've been digging, haven't you? You smell like a grave. Yeah, it's true. And for some reason, she doesn't. She really loves to stand in front of cameras. You know what else about her that's cat-like about her is that she'll come in and she'll just show you her bottom. You know, like normally dogs come in, it's like like this, but she's quite happy just to come in and just like back up onto you. So here we go. There we go. Here it comes down. There you go. She's moving on. Oh, you gone now? Oh, see, there you go. There you go. Lovely. See, God, she's so bloody predictable. It's maddening. Anyways, she deserves all of the attention. She really doesn't. Would you ever consider playing like a Stargate TTRPG? TTRPG. I know role-playing game. Tabletop RPG. Yes. From what I've experienced, TTRPGs have a collaborative storytelling. I've actually done it, Bud the Broken. We did it wasn't really tabletop, it was online, but we did there was a Stargate sort of an SG1. I think it's based on the fourth edition fourth edition Dungeons and Dragons, and it was great. It was really fun. I would definitely do that again. Yeah, I quite enjoyed it actually. What was nice about it was because the world was smaller, if that makes sense, because it was just our Stargate world that had been designed around it. I can't remember the name of the company that did it. They were supposed to send me a whole bunch of. Actually, I gotta bug them about that. I helped them out with a couple of videos, and we did the game a couple of times, and just in passing, they said, "Oh, we'll get you a copy of stuff." And I thought, "Oh, well, if I get that, maybe I'll play with that." But is it Wyvern Gaming? I think it's Wyvern Gaming. Yeah. So look at this. I've already got two things for you guys to check out. You got to go check out the Inside the Art House podcast with my friend Raphael. So go say hi to him from me, and tell him I sent you. And then this Wyvern Gaming Stargate RPG. I don't know what's happening with it, but it's definitely it's a lot of fun. And the way they've organized it is really fun because they've sort of organized it to be almost like episodes. They're almost like TV episodes, each one of them. So definitely gonna have to check those out. Yeah, you do. I really think you'll like it. I think we definitely need What are you doing? Oh God, let's see what this dog is doing. What is this dog doing? What are you? What are you doing? Saw? I do not understand this dog. Whatever. Okay. So and then check out the Wyvern Gaming. Yeah, definitely go check that out. And if you're there, say hi again. So what's the dog up to? She's on the bed, which she's not supposed to be. And I hear squeaking. I think my wife may be exercising upstairs. My God, it's like living in a gym here. Yeah, she's on the bed. She's not supposed to be on the bed. That's not my bed. I'm in my son's room. I shouldn't really be in my son's room, but my son's at university now, so it's the biggest room basically in the house. So that's where the rowing machine is. You having fun roaming around? God, this thing is so funny. Where is she? Where are you? There you go. What you looking at? Having fun? Yeah, I thought you might be. Oh, now you're gonna prove me wrong. You're gonna prove me wrong by being yeah, I thought maybe. All right. So I've got to I got to get moving because I know this one probably needs to be fed, and certainly needs to be walked, and then I need to. Oops, I said the word. And then I need to go and have some chats with Issa folks, and then go see my son for lunch. So things to do. Random question. I don't mind a random question. What was it like when you first read the script for Pin? I can't imagine what I'd being cast for that role. Oh my God, Cine Junkie. It was amazing. It was that was my first big job, first real movie job, and the audition process was grueling, and I went in numerous times. I remember the casting agent came out, and I was sitting there, thinking I was wonderful, and he came and he just slaps me on the top of the head, like just whacks the top of my head, and I was like, what the, I sort of leapt up, and he said, oh yeah, no, you're brilliant, but that's all we can see is the top of your head. You're all hunched up, and I was like, oh God, sorry, type thing. These are the old days. Now we'd have to call HR and stuff, but back then it was just a casting agent giving me a lesson in how to get a role, and I got the role. So Yeah, the script was amazing. That was an extraordinary experience. Cindy Preston, lovely, lovely, incredibly talented actress. Who, yeah, we were very, very good friends. We shared an apartment for a long time, and yeah, I got in touch. She got in touch years ago, and then I guess I'm so bad at keeping in touch with people. It's just terrible. I'm basically an extrovert what is it? A hermit extrovert, extrovert hermit. I think is what my friends call me. And I think I just once I get home, it's the communicating is this is the only thing I do. All right, so no one ever asks about Treat Murray, and it's literally my favorite. Oh, Ashton Hater. Yeah, Treat Murray's fantastic. Treat Murray comes up all the time. That's William Phillips, who wrote and directed that. Another very good friend of ours who actually helped out. Get this. Here's some cinema history for you. Bill Phillips was instrumental in helping out on The Lords of Boswell. We just met him at that point, and he was very kind. Came in and helped us out with making that. He was instrumental in Cube, helping Cube get made. And then when my friend Vincenzo won some money at the Toronto Film Festival for Cube, I think it was the Toronto Film Festival, he gave the money to Bill to help him on his first film. And his first film was this wonderful film, Treat Murray. And if you get a chance to see it, you should. I think it's called Get Down in the States. Yeah, I think it's called Get Down. So it's either called Get Down or Treat Murray. And in the States they try to sort of like make it all it's an urban drama and like all this kind of stuff. But it's just a very clever little film that Bill made and wrote, and he's a genius. Love him. Okay, I can't wait to see AI develop enough to enable realistic series film production so that I can generate episodes of Stargate Atlantis. I'm obsessed with the Atlantis world. Yeah, it's both fascinating and terrifying. I know that the acting world is freaking out right now. There's recently been a thing, I guess, is it Bryan Cranston? Is that the guy from Breaking Bad? His likeness was used by one of these AI companies in their promotions, and he was like, "What the hell? I mean, like, what? You can't do that." And so there's a big sort of uproar about that, and where the safeguards and all this kind of stuff. I'm kind of with you. I'm sort of more excited about seeing where it's going to go. I do think, though. I remember this is okay. I'm going to go back to the '80s. I had lots of hair, fluffy hair. I was a drummer, and everyone was telling me, because I was very into the sort of the '80s new wave, new romantic stuff, digital synth pop stuff. I love that stuff, and this sort of dance stuff. And but I was in a band and I played drums, and everyone was like, "Oh, well, there's no point. Synth is gonna. You don't need drummers anymore. You don't need guitarists. You just need a synthesizer." And they were right. I mean, you could. All that stuff can be replaced with a synthesizer. And in many cases it was. But you know what? No one, or very few people, can get away with standing on stage in front of a synthesizer and performing. If you want to perform, if you want the joy and the human connection of that music, you need people to play it. And while I think it was so empowering that people could make their own albums back then, and without the need of giant orchestras and the cost of multiple musicians and stuff. But the reality is I still like a good drummer. Like, I mean, I don't just a drum machine, it's good for some stuff, but I think you still crave that human connection. And I like to think that AI right now is at that like we were with computer generated effects, where we just throw them in everything. I can do everything, and it quickly sours and quickly dates. And then we will sort of fall back into a pattern. There will probably be new forms of creation out there that are more AI focused, and some stuff that I think is going to go back the other way and say, like, no, I want just people. I just want people. I don't want any in-camera tricks. I don't want any, maybe just in-camera tricks. No, no AI. No. I mean, I think there's a bit of a backlash on the even just the visual effects at this point. But I think there's a place for all of this stuff. I don't believe in this sort of absolutist no AI or absolutist only AI thing. We are in for a bumpy road with this for sure. Absolutely. And there's a very good chance that certainly, our jobs could be over in the form that they're in right now. But, that just means we've got to reinvent ourselves and do something else, right? So, I'm in yeah, I think I'm the least of the concerns. I think what I'm more worried about, I think, is young people getting into different industries, and a lot of those jobs are now those sort of boring administrative assistant stuff is being taken over by these AIs, and I worry that we aren't going to give our younger generation the access to that those human connections, that human wisdom, and passing on stuff like that. If everyone's just using these relatively cheap AI models to do it for them. So that's, but like I say, I feel like we will adjust. We thought TV was going to be the end of children, when everyone was terrified that too much TV, and we're all, we've destroyed the planet. Look, maybe we are just I mean, well, we are destroying the planet, but we're doing it, bit by bit as we go along. So they're not cheap, though. They're really expensive. Well, yeah, I mean, right now they're cheap, and so people are going to use them. I think there's going to be a certain amount of backlash, but also I just think there's going to be a craving for human content. Like, I just think we want that, in the same way that you can get digital Pokemon cards, but who wants digital Pokemon cards? You want the real thing. You want to hold them. You want to see them. You want to show them to your friends. You want to, there's something about atoms, about the atoms, holding something, having something. I think that's why there's a big interest in vinting. Just giving, like, there's some personality to the clothes you've got, as opposed to these sort of generic things that are put out by companies and corporations. And I feel like there's, even who is very tech positive, I would say, a tech optimist. I think I do crave those connections. It's good to go see a play every so often. It's good to listen to a podcast that's a bit that doesn't have the edges taken off it, or watch a YouTube video that is someone talking about something as opposed to selling something. So yeah, I mean, and Elizabeth with a Z, is I have to thank her, because she gave me a book to read, which I really enjoyed, called The AI Con, which is all about the other side of the AI stuff, and I think that was really interesting to read. I'm not sure I agree with everything, but I certainly see, while I like the AI, I'm not sure that I like the marketing, and the marketing is becoming a big part of it. There's a fascinating thing if you look up. I think Hank Green has a thing about the AI bubble, and how it seems to be sort of like a snake eating its own tail. Everything is deals rather than money and stuff. Oh, by the way, I didn't talk about the burn and learn. So burn and learn part of this, the learn part of this for me. Today I was going to do my Kissinger on China, it was a bit early, and I didn't think I had the brain for it. So I listened to my twit, This Week in Tech, which I just love. I've been listening to this one called Intelligent Machines, where they talk about AI specifically, and they were discussing a couple things like Apple buying F1. And then apparently one of the demands that they have is that F1 stops doing their F1 app, which is brilliant. Like, it's this amazing app where you can be in the seat for every single driver. And I mean, F1 is, I feel sort of guilty watching F1, because it's just it's money, it's privilege, it's gasoline. I mean, not gasoline, ethanol, whatever they're using, but it's fossil fuels basically. And while they're trying to be a little better, it's rubber. It's just, oh God, there's just so many things wrong with it, but I love it because it's just this incredibly high tech stuff, and some very dynamic, spoiled rat personalities and things. Anyway, so I do rather enjoy my F1. And it was just interesting to hear that Apple has now, I guess, bought it or licensed it, or I don't know what's going on, or I'm not even sure if it's gone through. But so they were talking about that, and how that could change the face of that. And I had this like epiphany the other day where I was like, why when I'm watching these sports things, the branding for companies is larger than the logos of the actual athletes, the actual teams, the actual, car, for that matter, in the case of F1. And I just like, what have we done? Like, where have we gone? It just feels so messy, and I feel like I'm living in a late bad Simpsons episode. You know what I mean? Anyway, so that came up, and they were talking about, again, the AI, basically, who's buying who in AI and all the new things. I mean, Tesla's also now pivoting into robots, which I think is actually really smart. I got to say. I mean, I'm not a fan of Elon Musk in his later years. He seems to become a bit of a weirdo. But the idea that Tesla is not a car company and is sort of more of a robot company, an AI and robotics company, I think is probably it seems pretty smart to me, and I can see that, if that makes sense. I never saw how a car company could be bigger than all the other car companies put together. It just didn't make any sense to me. But now I go, okay, well, I guess it's got a lot of data, and it's also that connection between robotics and AI, while a little nerve wracking at times, is certainly where things are going. I mean, that AI now needs to be put out into the world to some extent to see and learn about gravity and and oncoming vehicles and things like that. So that was an interesting story as well. So my learn part for today. I'm sorry, a little feeble, I know. Was basically listening to technology news with Leo Laporte, who I've been listening to for God 100 years. I mean, we're such dinosaurs, but I do really enjoy what he's doing, and I have a real soft spot for the fact that he's created his own little broadcasting empire. I mean, I know it's not an empire, but I just love what he's done with that, and how he does it, and it's lovely. So, all right, I better go. Good. So you love Leo too, very good. And he's doing it from home now. I know he's completely downsized and everything. I think I feel a bit bad for him, because I think he liked all that studio stuff. You know what I mean? It's got to feel a bit weird just sort of coming home, if that makes sense. But anyways, all right, I better get out of here. I got things to do, people to meet. Woohoo! Everybody, thank you so much. I truly, I'm absolutely amazed that you show up to see this sweaty old man talking about the fact that he's bad at exercising. But I really appreciate it. It really makes my day. So thank you very much. And until we geek again, I'll say, be kind, be brave, be brilliant. Cheerio and huzzah. See you, everyone. All right, now I got to figure out how to turn this off. Here we go. All right.